Hello. Hi. Oh, you know what I should do? Is I should get my microphone. Okay, put you on pause until I get that. Hello. How are you? Let's talk about Love After Lockup. For those of you who are hashtag replay gang, please check the description below to see when we get started, as per usual. Let's wait for a couple more people to get into the room. There's 23 folks, 25 folks in here. And let's say hello to those in the room. We've got JW. Hey. Hey. We've got Queen Kathy. Hello. This is the first time I'm seeing your face, I believe, Queen Kathy. Welcome. We've got Mazcat. Hello, welcome back. We've got Tracy Young. Hey, we've got Better Days. How you doing? We've got Steph Baut. Hi, I've never seen you before. Happy Sunday. We've got Nicole Taylor. We've got Renee. Hi. We've got Francis Vega. Hello, Francis. Mama of Eight. Hello. I just want to say I'm on the hunt for concealer. Nothing for you. Okay, here, let me give you some advice with the concealer. I found that a really good one for the price is NYX Bear With Me. Would you like me to go get it so that I can show it to you? I think it's really good. Okay, what I'm going to do is you can see me sans concealer right now. I'm going to go put some concealer on while we wait for more people to come into the room. And then I want to show you what I'm working with and why it's a really good one. Quick side note before we get started. Wow, my daughter says you're beautiful and you have made her finally embrace her gap. Aw. Embrace it, girl. That's so sweet. I don't wear makeup, but I'm 33 and I feel like I need some. And yeah. Here, let me go get it for you. Everyone, talk amongst yourselves. Let's go get it. Let me go put it on and then I'm gonna get it for you. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put on one eye so you can see the magic that is concealer. Do you not see the difference? Yeah. I mean, and this isn't bad lighting, and you could see the difference. You could just see that this kind of blends well with my skin, and it's nothing but just a little concealer right here, just a little bit. It doesn't help that the lighting is slightly different, but look, this eye versus this eye, this eye versus this eye. And someone said it's time for a beauty channel. Renee, this used to be a beauty channel. It used to be called Dark Skin Divas. But I started. So what happened is it was a beauty channel for dark skinned women. In fact, the email address is still Dark Skin Divas, but the channel is called Just Call Me Wah. And then I started doing Before the 90 Days season 1 with Darcy and Jesse, and I think Paul and Karini for their first season. And it just immediately turned into this. I was like, I'm really good. And it's more fun to edit the recap videos than it is to do the makeup one. And so thus you have Just Call Me Wah. So there we are. Okay. How many people? 40 people. We're 8 minutes in. I wish my lighting were better, but there's nothing to be done. I've decided to do this in twilight, is what happened. It's not twilight, but it's like the sun is going down, but not quite. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's just get started. We'll start at the top of the hour, at top of the minute, which is be at 9, which is about 13 seconds. But JW, I'm really glad that your daughter feels better about her gap. Embrace who you are, love who you are. That's all I say. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Life After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 46. Is the ring off? Is what it's called. Is the ring off? Hey, my name is Wah. If you're new to my channel, I do recaps of relationship reality TV shows such as Life After Lockup, Love After Lockup, Love During Lockup, 90 Day Fiancé, Before the 90 Days, After the 90 Days, In Between the 90 Days, 90 Days in the Caribbean, all of that. Okay, so if you are at all interested in that content, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel or share this video on any social media platform that you deem fit. Let's jump right into. First and foremost, if you would like to give your girl a tip, you can do so via the methods that are scrolling at the bottom of your screen. And if you are an international girly, next to the thumbs up button is something called thanks. And you can do a little thanks if you want to. I'm not stopping you. I'm not here to hate on your giving spirit. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to talk about this super, super boring episode, and I'm going to try to stop kicking my computer. I'm going to extract what I believe to be the most interesting version or points in this episode as to not bore you all to death with the boring shenanigans. Okay. First couple that we are going to talk about, which is like the top level, top tier boring, is Brittany and Marcelino. And I say this with the most love in my heart that I've ever found. We have a situation where Marcelino's like, Brittany, I can't wear a cape and fly to the moon. I don't know what to tell you. I'm here for my family. I'm here for you. No, I don't love Florida. And we are like, you're dumb for not loving Florida. I'm sad that you don't have your friends anymore. But yes, as an older adult, it is hard to just move to a new town and make friends. But so many people do it. And you should attempt to do so yourself, Marcelino. Because you almost lost your family because you were messing around in Vegas. Okay. So they hugged it out all while like smoking cigarettes in each other's faces. And, I always think that Brittany has some kind of situation with her like sinuses to where she like breathes out of her her mouth more than anything. So there's that moment. And then that's the end of their scene. Now let's move on to Puppy and Amber. So for Puppy and Amber, which is like, we love these hoes more than they love themselves. Puppy has taken all of her items and she's moving over to Queen's house. Queen's house seems to be like the revolving door, like safe space for anybody straight up out of prison or someone who can't figure their life out of prison, or someone who just needs like a friend to lean on. You know, you always need that person to support you and love you because they understand where you're coming from. And that's who Queen is. Now, I don't know if Queen had the surgery or if Queen is just moving her body, girl, you know, fixing her food. But Mama has lost at least 100 pounds. It's visually giving me 100 pounds. Okay. The tatas are still tataing, you know, so she's like, they're heavy, they're there. So, but she looks good. And Puppy walks in the house and she's like, who are you, girl? You look so different. And they get into the space and Queen sets some ground rules. She's like, first of all, you paying half of everything. Secondly, Eric is not coming here. And Puppy's like, can you help me to not call Eric? Can you help me? Can you occupy my time? And Queen's like, bitch, I got kids. I ain't got shit to do. I got shit to do. No, that's not what she says. But, you know, that's what she's thinking. Like, girl, I can't be watching you. I got to watch myself. You and I are in the same position. I got to watch myself. So they then settle into that. And we're happy for Puppy. But we know we know that she's not done with the drug known as Eric. Now, next we have Amber. Amber has an opportunity where she has a friend from middle school who happens to be an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. And that person said, you know what? I want you to be a co-owner with me at this, you know, Mexican restaurant. And I love a Mexican restaurant. So I'm like, girl, if you got some Mexican restaurant somewhere in Georgia, I might have to come visit you and check it out. I would go. If they start to promote this new restaurant on Life After Lockup, I'm going to go. And I'm going to go on a day like a Friday, maybe a Thursday, where I'm like, she must be here. Maybe like a Saturday where she must be there. And I'm going to take a picture with her because I love Amber. So Amber's like, thank you so much for this opportunity. Things like this don't happen to people like me. However, you know, I don't know where I'm going to get this money, but I'm going to figure it out. And he's like, will TC be okay with you doing this? And she's like, yeah, you know, I have slipped into the role of stepmom. I do get the kids up. I do all these things. And we're all like, oh, she quit her job a few weeks ago. And we're like, oh, toothless TC is taking care of you like that? Now, I judge him because I don't like TC. I don't like him. Now, I know he is the best thing that's ever happened to her, but I don't like him. So, you know, my opinion truly means nothing, but that's where I'm at. And she says that she needs something besides the kids and TC's life to fulfill her because she can't stop thinking about the other things. Now, we are assuming that the other things are the abortion that she was forced to get because of liver issues. And feel bad for her. I really do. I really do feel bad for her. Does Amber have kids? Also, we all know this is not, I think she mentioned that this was not her first abortion. So maybe she's just like, maybe this was the one she actually wanted to keep and could have kept, but couldn't. And I think I'm sad for her. Let's move on. This couple. We didn't have them this week, and that's fine. This couple. So this week, we pick up where Lindsay is, being the reality actress star that she is, she's silent treating Blaine. And Blaine's like, I can't believe that you're upset about me figuring out a way for me to stay home. And she's like, Blaine, it's not because you didn't tell, it's because you didn't tell me, Blaine. And he's like, girl, you just want to make everything about you. Selfish. And we understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, she kind of makes sense. The way she's going about it is ridiculous, but she kind of makes sense, right? She wants to be communicated with. She wants to feel like he isn't making decisions without her. She felt like she had a lifetime and 6 years of that in prison, and she doesn't want that for her current situation. And we understand that because we haven't had our life taken away from us, so we don't know, right? So she starts to pack her bag, and there's a bunch of plastic hangers, and she leaves the house with some luggage, and he's like, Lindsay, where are you going? And she's like, I'm going somewhere where people love me. She didn't say that. I made that up, but let's just say she said that. So she gets into the car. She puts her items into her chunky back seat, which, listen, I'm not judging. I've got things in my back seat as well. And he comes out with his like underwear on and the socks. Oh, I forgot to mention the most disgusting part. He fed them cats in the beginning. There was 2 cats that live in that house. And around that the cat bowl, which was really just a plastic paper plate, not a plastic one, a paper one, was just like debris. Just like a culmination of like fur and hair, which is the same thing, and cat food. And you know how I feel. One must clean one's home when one has a camera crew in it, Taylor. One must clean one's home. I know it's supposed to be reality, but I think I don't really want reality. I think I just want like clean. Anyway, so she gets into the car and she's like, I'm going someplace not here with you. And he's like, well, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. And we are like, ooh, sick burn, Blaine. You told her. Now, if you listen to my podcast, DocuSweeties, as Mom of 8 does, then you would know that Chris explained what that meant. Because I was like, where did the good Lord split you? In your vagina. And she was like, no, your bum crack. That's where the good Lord split you. And I was like, oh, didn't know what that meant. Didn't know what that meant at all. And she gets into the car and she gets on the phone and she like starts to talk to somebody named Stephanie, who we all assume is her girlfriend or something. Because remember, she had that one girlfriend, Tara Lynn, living in the driveway of Scott's home the first time she came out. But she cleared it all up on Instagram. And on Instagram, it's her best friend, Stephanie. So now we know she has a best friend. That best friend's name is Stephanie, and that's who she went to stay with. So she didn't want to tell Blaine who she was going with because she's like, we don't talk to each other, so why am I telling you anything anyway? And I was like, okay, I'll see it. I feel you. And then we have a scene where he is going to testimonial. And I'm telling you, I got, First African Methodist Episcopal like vibes. There was an organ going. I was here for it. It was like, The Color Purple. Can't sleep at night. Oh, when you wonder and you wonder why. Maybe you got me. That's the one thing I'm going to tell you I miss. I really miss gospel music. And you would think that because I miss it, I would like be downloading all the great gospel hits or the new. I don't, because there's just something about the vibes of being in church, wearing like a cute outfit with your tights or your hose. You remember you had to wear your hose when you were little, and like a cute outfit, and you just like sitting there, and you might have a hat depending on your church, and just it's a whole vibe. Now, the homophobia and all the negative stuff that I don't want to mess with, I don't mess with it. But the spirit, it's a whole vibe. It's a whole vibe. It was like, there would be times where I would be in the choir stand and I would be like, oh my God, I am protected. I am loved. And then I would go home and cry and pray to not wake up the next day. But while I was in the church, caught up, swept up in the human energy. So I understood it. So when that happened, I was like really into it. And he gave a testimonial, boy. And this man tells us more about his life than in that like 2 minutes than I had never known. One, his parents got divorced when he was younger. And he has somehow rekindled a relationship with his father where he could fully in church say to his father's face, my parents got divorced when I was young and separated. And so from then I just felt abandoned and unloved. And it breaks my heart when children of divorce feel that way. And then you have some who doesn't. Like Tracy Ellis Ross, Diana Ross's daughter, talked about when her parents divorced, that it didn't even feel like a divorce because it was so amicable and it was done so seamlessly that they were just like, oh, well, dad lives over there now. And mom is still traveling around and we're still traveling together. Because apparently Diana Ross girl used to take her 3 children on the road with her. And then her husband would come, or he'd sometimes be there, sometimes wasn't, whatnot. But she was a mom first. And so they all knew that Diana Ross wasn't doing like 50 million shows a month. Diana Ross was doing 1 show a night. Okay, so if you wanted to see her in France, you saw her in France on the time she was there. Like when I hear about stories from Tracy about Diana, I'm like, come on, mom. Come on, Miss Diana. Put the kids before the babies. I love to see it. And still had a fruitful career. Love to see it. Anyways, So I always think of that as an example of like how to do it, because every other kid that I know whose parents got divorced have some kind of like negative something in their spirit, even if the parent got divorced when they were 2. I'm like, how do you even know what happened when your parents was 2? How do you even, you were 2? How do you know that? How do you know that it was a bad divorce unless it was just like bad juju from the beginning? Anyways, girl. So he felt that, which is so unfortunate. It breaks my heart. And he says that his grandmother was the only one who loved him and made him feel wanted. And even though he took the wrong path and started doing the wrong things and got into drugs really bad, that he, wanted to get sober for his grandmother and wanted her to know that he, loves her. And I just was like, oh, I mean, it was the best part of the whole thing. It's the best part of the whole episode. Lindsay sneaks her way in because she's late. Miley Grace is there. Miley Grace's grandma mama is there. Everybody's there but Lindsay. She's been MIA because she feels certain way. But she says listening to Blaine talk about how he's changed and how his life is different has really just, it makes her love him all over again. And we would just wish that she would stop with the antics at this point. It's like, it's cute, but then when this man gets up in front of church and God and does his testimonial with the shirt that says Jesus is my plug, it's like, okay. He's like, without God, we wouldn't be here. And I'm just like, that's so cute. That's so cute. He's so cute. He's so cute. And he's so cute. Anyway, so let's move on. Next couple. Let's talk about these two fools. First of all, let's just look at this picture for a little bit. He's just laying on her chest. I would have never put this out. Anyways, so Derek is real hype because he's going to go visit Monique in prison. I mean, you guys, Monique is in prison. Did you know this? Monique is in prison in Chicago. And he's going to go visit her. And he's really hyped to show her the love that she showed him when he was in prison. Just kidding. Anyway, so he's really hype. And he's like, we have talked. We have put the past behind us. We are even better than we ever were in our entire lives. And I'm really excited to go there and love on my woman and show her everything that I should have shown her in the prior months. And we're all like, don't believe him 100%. Don't believe him at all. So he's like, but there's one caveat. I have to get my parole officer to approve my travel. But he's packing. So you're like, are you leaving today? Or are you leaving in a week? So are you just like on a prayer, living on a prayer, trying to get to the airport right now? Is that what's happening? And then he goes out and he talks to Jima, his big mama. Remember, this is his great grandma. Okay, this is his toothless daddy's grandmother. And she's in the kitchen making him some lunch. She's like, baby, I got a little bag here for you for your lunch on your travels. And I said, you know what? That's the sweetest thing. Could you imagine just making a little meal for whomever is getting on a plane ride somewhere? It's so cute. She got her cute little wig on and she sits and she says to him, okay, well, packing this lunch and how's everything going with Monique? And he's like, everything's going good. I'm going to ask her to marry me. And grandma sits down. Grandma's like, that's too much. That's too much, Derek. She sits down and she says, listen, are you ready? Because while you have been living in my home, you have been running the streets like a dog. She didn't say that, but that's what I know she thinks. And she's like, don't go over and play with Monique. And he's like, what would you do if you was in love, mama? And she was like, well, I guess you do what you got to do, but you need to make sure you do right, my Monique. You tell her that we love her here. And you don't let them folks who ain't never done nothing for you in your whole entire life, them siblings of y'all who ain't never seen you in prison, who ain't never write you a letter, who ain't done nothing, change the way you feel about Monique, because that's a good woman. That's a good woman. And you let her know that G mama love her and she has a place in this house anytime she wants to, because that's a good woman. And he's like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. She like, come over here, boy. Let me put something in your hand. And she gives this no good ass Negro $500. And I said, ain't that just like an old black grandma? That's an old, specifically American black grandma. They will be like, come over here, let me put something in your hand and give you $40. And then be like, don't tell nobody I gave it to you. And you like, ma'am, I will not tell anybody. Let me tell you right now, I didn't have an American black grandma. Okay. My grandma, Belizean. Did she ever give me money? Can't recall. But she had a lot of grandkids. Let me tell you, my grandmother had 8 children. Do you not think she had a lot of grandchildren? She had a lot. Every single one of her kids got at least 5. Got at least 5 kids. Okay. Many of the women only have 4, but the men got 10. I'm just kidding. Some of them have 10. Some of the men have 10. 4 boys, 4 girls. Some of the boys got 10 childrens. Some of the men have 5 or 3, and all of the women have 4, and then one has 2. So she got a lot of grandchildren. So let me tell you. Okay. So she wasn't about giving anybody money. However, I like my grandmother. She was cool. We called her Granny. Everybody on the West Coast called her Granny, but for some reason my East Coast cousins called her Grandma. And the first time they called her Grandma, me and my West Coast cousin were like, who the fuck is that? Are you speaking of Granny? Like, what? Stop calling her Grandma. That's just weird. Anyways, there's that. So anyways, but I did have like older people on like the Black American side of my family who didn't slide you some money, just like it will always be weird when they slide you a five. You're like, yep, I'm gonna do so much with this $5 into that ice cream truck. Anyways, so she gives him $500. He goes off and he gets in the car with his cousin uncle, somebody with like bling. That cousin uncle is like, what you gonna do? You don't got it. We're taking you to the airport right now. Your PO hasn't said yes. Man, she a hater. I mean, my PO, she a hater. So the PO is like, Derek, I am tired of your BS. I told you to send me that return ticket and you didn't send it to me. And I keep thinking to myself, in what world does one not buy a round trip ticket? How do you not have the second one? Allie Turner, thank you so much. Hi, Allie. Thank you so much for the Cash App. Thank you. So I'm like, and you guys can do what Allie's doing if you want to do it down here. Any of those things. So the cousin was like, yeah, here's some flowers for you to get to Monique, and here's my jewelry. Look at this, I'm blinging. And I wanted to know, there was a man in the back, and his name was Billiam. I love Black people. Because they said, listen, if the nickname for William is Bill, why not just name him Billiam? Unless he named himself that. Maybe that's his like a rapper name. Maybe that's just like a rapper name. And so he goes, instead of millions, my name is Billiams. Oh God, my lighting is so much better because the sun went down. Okay, can you see the difference between my concealer? I wish that I could show you guys the before. Should I take it off so you can see it again? Just a little concealer makes you look awake. That's all it is. Okay. So anyways, his PO calls him back and is like, I got it. You can go. But boy, if you don't answer my phone calls, and we all know that Derek has a problem answering his phone calls, he'll see somebody called him and won't even think twice about it. I'm like, damn, you don't even answer phone calls? Something wrong with you. William scared me half to death. Didn't see him back there at first. Hi, JRR. Welcome. I saw you said earlier that you hadn't got a chance to catch a live, but hello, welcome. Beautiful Array Indigenous Queen. Okay. Put the full name. Put the full vibe. Okay. She said, all of it, honey. All of it. Your big mom imitation is too much. Folks don't. Never mind. Let me keep my mouth shut. Thank you for appreciating. I like to give you guys the full experience of my voice. And I do it to everybody. Anyways, so introverts don't answer phone calls. I get you, because I'm an introvert. And I don't answer phone calls either, especially if I don't know them, because I'm like, this feels aggressive. And if somebody is calling me, I'm like, hey, you better hope I'm driving, because that's the only time I can answer phone calls. Why? Oh, I do. I have an adult beverage. I went and got some rosé, and every time I get rosé, I regret it. And I regret this. This was a waste of calories. Like, what is the point of having an adult beverage if you don't then feel like an adult? And the bottle was cute though. 12%. What that gonna do? Just kidding. But real. Okay, so are we done with them? I think we're done. He got his pass. He's going to Chicago. Next couple. Oof. Chance and Taylor. So Taylor has that baby. And Chance really wants to hold that baby. A lot. Chance is a no good, unfortunate loser. Like, and I hate it because it feels like he's trying so much. Oh, I have more concealer. It feels like he is doing his absolute best, but he just doesn't know how to be an adult. So we find out that this man had gotten laid off, and he doesn't tell Taylor at all. He doesn't tell her. She feels like she's doing all the work by herself, and we hear him calling her over and over again. Now, I don't know if that's just an edit, but it was an annoying edit. And the last thing I want is to see a mother of a 5-week-old screaming child when she has 3 other kids not have the support of her ding-dong husband. And not even husband. Truly, the fact that she did not marry that man is the only point in her court. Because after that, all decisions were poor decisions. I feel bad for her. Chance has lost his job. He feels like it's easier to lie to her because he doesn't want her to be disappointed in him, and he doesn't want her, ruining his vibe and yelling at him, because everything that she has been saying for the last, I don't know how long they've been together, is true. He wasted money on that truck. Also, where is that truck? Was he not driving that truck when that little scary baby doll was sitting in back of him? If you go to docusweeties.com, you'll see what I'm talking about. Sorry, docusweeties on Instagram, you'll see what I'm talking about. But feel really bad for her. But she did make her own choices. And there's truly nothing that we can do about it. Can we talk about everyone providing for his grown behind? Who provides for him? You mean her? He's trash. I mean, just there's nothing to say. There's just nothing that we can say. I'm so glad. I don't think she did, because he did all this stuff behind her back. He can't afford to fill that truck, probably driving her car. Oh, hilarious. He can't fill that tank? Teresa called it. So anyways, he's been lying to her and just leaving every day, leaving her with that baby. Like, that's the thing that's crazy to me, is that he would rather lie to her and leave her with a 5-week-old baby that is his child, and go to a bar, drink, and waste money. He says he lost $70, and he's like, I really thought I was going to win. I don't have that much hope or faith in myself when it comes to gambling on an electronic. Like, I have faith and hope in myself. Like, if I'm like, ooh, I could jump over that fence. Or, ooh, I could. Oh my God. Do you guys remember 3 years ago when me and my brother jumped over the fence in our backyard? I put it on Instagram. Only the real ones will know. We jumped over the fence into the park thinking that I could jump that fence. Girl, I made it over, but it was a harrowing feat. Okay? It was a harrowing feat. Shannon Van. Shannon Van. Hi, Shan. Shan and I were commiserating the other day over the guys that like us on our various dating apps, and it was hilarious. Shan, I will send you some more because I have them. They will be in your DM. So if you guys are interested in anything Bravo, Shan is your gal. She's in Vancouver, Canada. Also, she recently made a harrowing trip to the States for a very beautiful Starbucks cup. Okay. She did it. Oh, so funny to me to tell your business, Shan. But I was like, ooh, what cup is that? I'm like, should I send you pictures of the ones that are at my local one and you can tell me if you want me to send them to you? I don't think they're as pretty as that one. That one that's only made in China. I hope that didn't I hope any of my shenanigans with this isn't messing up my sound. I hope that. It probably is. Anyways, so he really lets us down in a big way, loses $70, and we just feel so bad for her. Okay. Next couple and last couple we're going to talk about is Justine and Mike. You guys, I don't have a picture of them, but Justine actually put on concealer today. And they have a dumb fight because he's like, I got to hide the fact that I took that money. $12,000. I'm poor because if $12,000 goes missing, I'm going to be a Tasmanian devil in that bitch. I will be throwing everything on the ground. How much money does one have to just have in their bank account for $12,000 to be missing and invested in cryptocurrency and NFTs? Be like, well, you just should have told me. You just should have told me, girl. $12,000. I mean, you can't live off of $12,000 for a full year, but that's 3 months. No. Yeah. That's 3 months. If I'm being really conservative, and normally I'm not. But no. And it's just it's so true because he chose to do this instead of just saying, hey, babe, yeah, I took the money for something for the NFTs. Yeah. But then he goes and launches into, I don't understand why I got to tell you anyway. What do you mean you don't understand why you got to tell me? He's like, I'm the one who helped you put that money anywhere. You had the money, and then I was the one who told you what to do with it. And I'm like, what did you tell her to do? Did you tell her to carry an item from here to there, and then you got paid? Is that how you helped her to do it? What was she doing for you? How did you help her flip that money and gain interest on it? And she's like, I've been working really hard as a dental assistant, and that's how I earned that money. And I'm like, listen, I'm not knocking anything. I just don't think that they make that much money. I don't think that she made that much money nursing to where $12,000 doesn't mean anything. What? 12,000? No. Listen, sometimes you got to pull out money to pay for bills. But I don't know, that's about as much as I'm in debt. So I'm like, the credit cards, give me that money if you're just going to spend it on nonsense. I have a great use for it. Anyway, so yeah, they go to Vegas. They're wearing matching outfits on the way there. And they get a really fancy BMW with suicide doors, and then they pull into a Hampton Inn. And I am very confused. I would rather have a Toyota Corolla and stay at the Wynn than have some kind of whatever spider or whatever cute little whatever to floss while driving around Vegas. Ugh, girl. So then they get to Mocha. Mocha freaks out about him being married, and he's like, you are competing with 19-year-olds. There's no way that you can have this family. Are you changing diapers or are you laying down these wraps? And he's like, I got you, bro. I can handle it. And it's like, Michael already just finished saying how he hates being away from his family because he did that for so long. And he didn't watch his kids grow up. And then he went to prison. And then now he's choosing the same thing again. And he's got her there. Like, I don't know anything about being a rapper, but I'm pretty sure that you can have a wife while you hustle. Now, your wife is going to have to hold it down for you for sure while you're on tour and shit, like for sure. But like, your family will suffer for your art. Period, point blank. Period, point blank. Allegedly, that BMW belongs to Mocha per the IG post. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. You know what I want to do since the lighting is good? I'm going to go and take off. I'm going to get something and take off half the makeup so you can see the concealer. I just really want to prove to you that concealer is important. I'll be back. Does one not look like I have a black eye and the other not? It truly makes a difference. Again, a really good concealer that is great for the price is NYX Bear With Me. I wear the color Rich. And this is because I've used a lot of it. Bear with me. Hi, Hilda. Welcome. Okay. If only Justine would just put on a little concealer in her confessionals. Like, I'm not asking you to put on like freaking all the makeup in the world, but she put on all the makeup in the world to go see Mocha. So I'm like, what was that for? Oh, also Mocha's receptionist. I mean, that woman has got the largest tetas. It just brightens up your face a little bit, just a little brightening. Makes you look a little bit more awake and alive, even though you're tired and you haven't had your coffee yet. That's what I'm saying, DJ. That's what I'm saying. You see it? I'm not saying plaster it on. Just get a little Bear With Me. Buy NYX. I can't tell you how much it costs, but it doesn't cost more than $10. Maybe it does. I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. Let me see. Bear With Me. NYX concealer. NYX concealer. It's $11 or $10.99. Super cheap. Super cheap. Compared, I've seen concealers, they try to get you on $30 for concealers, and you're like, why? Exactly. Justine is too busy making 20K to apply concealer. I see it maybe for the eyes and not so shiny. Child, I don't know about makeup. Listen, I can't tell you what color you are. I can tell you that I am rich, which is the second to last darkest color. But it makes a difference. It just wakes you up. I'm not saying put it everywhere. I'm just saying put it a little bit somewhere. Especially if you're on TV, Justine, that's all I'm saying. You are on TV. And just a little concealer and a little mascara. It's gonna brighten you right up. $8.24 at Walmart. That's what I'm saying. Okay, that's it. We've talked for 46 minutes. About what? I don't know, because this was not an interesting episode. So we made it happen. All right, you guys. Are you guys watching Brother Husband? I think I'm going to watch it or review it every other day, every other week, because not that much happens. So, and listen, if you don't need it, you don't need it. I'm not saying it, but I think, if you got children, you probably need it. I'm just saying, they be stressing people out. Or if you're 40 like me, you require it. Just a little bit. I'm not saying, I'm not basing my right? Just a little. Yes, I already put up my Love is Blind episodes 1 through 4. Or was it 1 through 5? Last week. This week, I haven't finished watching it yet, but I am. But anyways, yes. So Seeking Brother Husband, I'm probably going to talk about that on Wednesday. No, I know I'm going to talk about it on Wednesday because I have a guest. I have gotten a guest to talk about it with me. Someone who A, is male, 2, is not like a YouTuber by far. He's an accountant. But I wanted to get his opinion on it because he's a man and I wanted to just know what he thinks. It is. Yes, I am 40. I know, right? I asked him and he's like, okay, I'm terrible on camera, but I'll go. I was like, great. Just want your opinion. So I'm going to send him the list of questions so that he can come up with his answers. And I'm not going to expect him to be an improviser. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to send him all of the information prior to, so he has it, so that he can feel comfortable on camera with me. So I heard Carl has another woman, which is fine. So they are more of just like polyamorous. It's not true polyandry, because in polyandry, the same thing with polygamy is that the male or the female, whoever they're with, those other people don't have their partners. So it's polyandry when they do. Okie dokie. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Thank you so much, Allie, for the tip. I appreciate it. And yeah, that's it. Y'all have a fantastic week. I will talk to you sometime about Toe. We'll talk Seeking Brother Sisterhood or whatever. And we'll also talk Love is Blind. There's a lot happening. So I will be going live this week a lot. It's going to be a busy week for me. All right. Have a fantastic day. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Okay. Bye. And jumping the line. Rock your body on time. Okay.